to college is a concept, and it doesn't exist in reality anywhere. So to create it needs the collective minds, hearts, and hands of all of those who would be responsible for teaching and learning in such a model. And that consists by and large of our teachers. Teachers organized into professional learning communities is a very promising method of supporting teachers to come together to focus on the Birth to College vision and think about what that means to their own practices and what they believe and what they know about children's teaching and learning, and can expand that so that teachers can have an idea of the whole trajectory of a child's life and how they can impact it.
I see that it's so important to be able to bring together the thinking and the minds of all the teachers involved, early childhood, elementary, and talk about what we do so that we can be more consistent. I don't want to say be similar, but be more consistent in our practices that are effective in helping children learn, that are effective in helping children be competent in gaining skills. And that can't happen if you're two different places not talking to each other and doing two very different things. It can only create better environments for children to learn in. And without that, we're creating silos of indifference. And that's exactly what we've been doing. Just you do your thing and I'll do my thing, and then I'll send them over. And we're sending them over and it's not working. We know it's not working there.
It's really not a top-down approach to alignment and to developing and defining what a birth through college partnership should and could look like, but rather it's one that is informed, shaped, driven, experimented with, and put forth by practitioners themselves, by our teaching staff, by our family engagement and support staff, by anybody working in our schools. I mean, so it's really kind of more of a bottom-up approach than you might typically expect.
Just having this opportunity has taught me a little bit more about how important it is to talk with each other. I know my mother's a teacher also, and she went through the whole go in your classroom, close your door, and do what you're going to do. And so this PLC has said, no, that's not okay. You need to open your door. You need to go across the hall. You need to go down the street and find out a little bit more and just talk with people. And so it's making me feel like this is a meaningful conversation that should be happening more often. And it doesn't happen so often because we still close our door and do what we do.
I think the professional learning communities give us opportunity to come outside of our individual spaces, outside of my concept world of 0 to 3, to talk to somebody that have older children, and then be able to have a platform where we can share stories about our teaching.
Initially, the PLC experience was a bit overwhelming because we were unsure of what was expected of us as PLC leaders. Mm-hmm. Because as PLC leaders, we feel that we're there to kind of guide the discussion, guide the group as far as setting goals and figuring out what it is that's going to be the product for our PLC. So it was a bit overwhelming initially because just like we're learning more about the process, everyone else is learning more about the process. So our administrators on the objective teams are learning more, and as they grow and learn more, they're sharing that information with us. So all of it is, the whole process is ever evolving, it seems.
We were in a room with people, you know, we really don't know, and with teachers we tend to know everything. So when opinions were or suggestions were thrown out, it was hard for people to accept it because we don't know each other. And so having said all of that, as a PLC leader, what I had to do was realize that we were hitting roadblocks, and that that we needed to do something about it. So we started to just do things like getting to know each other, telling our likes and dislikes, telling more about ourselves, doing some more building of trust, because once the trust is established, then we can kind of throw out suggestions and people won't feel offended, or we can say things and joke with each other, and it's a safe place to do that. So we had to build trust with each other first, and then go on from there.
It takes a lot to get to a PLC that becomes that catalyst of change for this Birth to College project. So I'm just struck with all the things that we've had to do. And I think we've done some really good things to get our PLCs where they are. And I think our thinking will continue to help move the PLCs forward and get them to do more of what is important when you create a different kind of learning environment. Everyone's not used to that kind of learning environment. They're used to the traditional instruct me, give me my books, lecture me, and I'll take back what I can, and often that's not enough. How we create this new environment of learning and have everybody feel comfortable in this new environment of learning, because I like the old way, you know, but now this new way of PLC makes me think.
I think that people in a professional learning community own their knowledge because they're creating it. And I think that the best things are really created out of different perspectives. And it's a great opportunity to really be hearing everybody's perspective, and especially in this work, when I don't have knowledge of 0 to 3 except for my own kids, really, or somebody else might not have knowledge of older grades. I feel like you don't know what you don't know. So a PLC is a perfect way to kind of fill those gaps.
You're important in the development of future generations, but you're also important in the development of your peers as well. So in terms of like the work of the PLC, continue to kind of have discourse and dissonance and, work through the issues, because in the end, everyone, wins. Everyone comes out knowing more. Perspectives are different. You see things differently. And I mean, as teachers, that's our main goal. That's what we strive to do every day. To teach a kid something that inevitably changes how they think.
I sat in on the social emotional PLC. We had myself, baby teacher as they say, all the way up to 3rd grade teacher. And what we see, because social emotional is such a big part of our everyday experience, it should be for everybody here, they were unaware of. We had our 3rd grade teacher, Eric, Mr. Eric, and he came in, we did observations in the professional learning group where they came over to view one of our classrooms here at EduCare, and our EduCare teachers went over and viewed an older classroom in the Donahue or NKO schools. And so there was one particular set of infants where one baby was crying. And so another toddler took the pacifier for one baby that was fine to try to offer it to another child that was crying. So she was able to she had some empathy and was trying to soothe the baby, where the 3rd grade teacher's like, wow, they do that here? They're able to soothe each other? They're able to recognize that? All this happening so early? Yes. We didn't know.
I don't look at a baby and think I'm going to teach you math, So just to see not even simple things, but I know one of the projects somebody brought was on object permanence, so just being able to keep track of an object. When you think of that, you don't necessarily think, oh, that's math, but obviously it is, because you want them to be able to look at something and manipulate it, know how much it is, what's the quantity, how heavy, and so being able to hold their attention to an object definitely goes with math, but we just don't think of that as elementary teachers. So it was really interesting to see the progression of skills being presented from birth all the way. I think the highest was 3rd grade. And I think it'll make us more prepared as teachers when we see kids coming in like, oh, you might not have got that experience because, because you aren't able to do this. Just to know, like, this is what they're expected to do at this age, and this is how it'll translate when they get to kindergarten, and how it'll translate into the more abstract when they're in 2nd and 3rd grade. So it was really interesting.
You're important to someone, or to a little child, or to the kids that you serve every single day. This work that we're doing is a moral imperative. We have to change. We have to close that achievement gap. And we have to do it because our children's future and their lives essentially depend on it.